We're here today with Angela Brown-Burke, the Vice President of the People's National Party in Jamaica. Good evening.
Good evening.
The first question we wanted to ask you was about the extradition crisis, the ongoing problem of extraditions in Jamaica. Could you speak about what the party position is on that and what it would do differently going forward?
Okay, I think that the People's National Party government has had a track record of how we have dealt with extraditions. We have signed some treaties that we are clear that we need to abide by the provisions that are there. We believe that every Jamaican has a right to be heard, but there's a process that has been thought out and that is in place that allows for that. So the first thing is to just follow through on what the process calls for and not to be judge and jury at the beginning as we have had in the past.
Obviously, the extradition problem is related to the crime problem in Jamaica. Last month, the World Bank released a report basically saying that if Jamaica were to reduce crime, it would actually improve growth. Is that something that you see, or how can the government capitalize on that?
Well, we've always been clear on that, and that is part of the reason why we have dealt with the extradition treaty, the memorandum of understanding around some of the other related issues in the way that we have. Because we have been clear for quite some time that crime has robbed us as a country in terms of our economic possibilities and so on. And so we're clear that that is in fact true. And a lot of what we've been doing in terms of equipping the police, in terms of getting external help, whether it was from England or elsewhere, to assist in improving the capability of the police force, both in terms of intelligence, in terms of vehicles, in terms of equipment, and all of that.
What has been the impact so far of the Commission of Enquiry, if there has been one, and what do you think the report on May 16th what effect will that report have?
Well, what I know that the Commission of Enquiry has done, because there have been quite a number of persons who have had an opportunity to just follow the questioning and to see, you know, before you might have thought that there were individuals who were lying. Now you're sure that they're lying, and you know who's lying. So it has helped to clarify that. There are some who probably would have thought at some point that maybe individuals who were involved in trying to stall the extradition process probably were doing it from a good place because they really were concerned about the rights of an individual. What the Commission of Enquiry has done, based on the non-responses and the way members of the government have treated the inquiry, it is clear that that was not what they were about at all. And I think that those are some of the things that have come forward. Unfortunately, some of the things that have also come forward is that we have some individuals who occupy some positions in our country that are not serving us well.
One of the other large political issues in Jamaica of late has been the question of dual citizenship. What is the party's position on that, and what, can you comment a little bit about that issue?
Well, we start from a principle that there is a constitution in place and that every single individual sitting in Parliament cannot be, well, no individual sitting in Parliament can be in breach of that constitution. So we start there. Whether persons believe it's right or wrong, whether persons believe that it's outdated, whether people believe that we have passed that, that's not the point. We actually have a constitution that guides us. And the individuals who are sitting in Parliament are making laws that they're expecting the citizens to obey. And they can't be the ones sitting there who are not obeying, you know, the primary law, which is the Constitution of Jamaica. So that's where we start. We accept that there are some issues around, and I don't even call it dual citizenship or the breach of the Constitution as it relates to citizenship and allegiance. We agree that there are some issues that require some discussion, but we want the discussions to be separate. Those who are currently in breach need to repair that breach. And then we can talk about in the future how do we approach it in terms of are there some changes that we need to do to the Constitution. But we believe that before we begin to have that discussion about the amendments to come, we need to make sure that we're all clear on where we stand as it relates to applying the present Constitution.
There was another notable report this week by the UN's Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean reported that across the Caribbean, foreign direct investment had fallen. How can the Jamaican government improve that, and how can the Caribbean improve foreign investment in the years? Obviously, part of it has been the downturn, but how can that improve over the next few years?
I believe part of it is to make sure that your investment climate is one that's friendly. It is one that offers, you know, the kind of incentives, the kind of environment, accommodating environment for people to do that. I remember when the under the People's National Party, when we were bringing direct investment from Spain in particular, that a number of individuals, you know, were trying to keep them out. I believe what we need to do is to ensure that our processes are simple, they are easy to follow, they are clear, that the issue of corruption, that we take that out of the equation, so that, you know, you don't have to bribe someone to get something done. You know what the steps are. If you're having difficulties, you have a desk or a bureau or some mechanism to deal with those blockages that you have that are not done on the basis of bribes or any corrupt act, but that understand that that's part of doing business, that you clear these blockages to allow that to go through. I believe also that if you make the environment a business-friendly one, you're going to attract investment, whether foreign direct investment or local, but you're going to attract investment.
How much have the political ramifications of the extradition crisis affected that climate or affected the potential for investment?
I think it has, unfortunately, because I believe that we came this close to really being a rogue state. And even now, I think that the kind of integrity of the government is being called into question. And so it is going to take some time, I believe, to repair that breach and to reestablish some confidence in our system of governance and the individuals who we have there. I don't believe that that is beyond us, however, because Jamaica, over the years, we've developed a reputation of being a solid country to do business. We have always stood on principle before, and so people declare that this is an aberration, and it's an aberration that was not accepted by the majority of Jamaicans to begin with. You know, we were screaming and crying about it when we saw it happening. So I believe it is something that can be repaired.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.